Eagle Spear. So this is something that is new to the lore. It's heavily associated with the High Mountain Tauren. This is basically a fabled weapon of the Tauren tribe in High Mountain that you will seek out. You will track down the powerful creature that claimed the life of its last wielder, defeat that creature, and take this for yourself. The animal inspirations for the spear, you see, the base version is sort of themed after the eagle. Then in the center we have a wolf theme, a serpent, and a bear on the far right. This weapon will be something that survival hunters can seek out and claim.
Hey guys, this is Lion and Judah from the Guild 7 from Thunderhorn server. So glad to be with you on another video. This work week has been insane for me, but I'm back to do another video, and I decided to do this video on survival melee hunters. What? It's gonna be insane. Like, I am so excited that finally each spec of the hunter is gonna have its own identity. That's what I think the hunter community has been asking for such a long time. It's been, oh my god, to see our talent trees all change and to have, unique talents for each unique spec, I think is going to be brilliant. I think it's time, it's due. And to see maybe the comeback of certain iconic old school Burning Crusade abilities like wing clip, mongoose bite, raptor strike. I mean, who knows like what they could probably do brand new moves or whatever. There was also a thing I saw on MMO Champion where they were planning to give survival melee hunters like a death grip, but it's like a harpoon that they basically pierce an enemy and then basically like chunk them back over to us and like start meleeing them. Like, there's just so many cool things that I believe that are going to make the survival hunter such an awesome and fun spec to play for Legion. I do have a couple of concerns though. My first concern is not just like the new rotation or the new abilities they have, but really, if you're going to change survival, right now survival is dead last as far as, specs as single target damage. It does, I could say decent for AoE. Like right now my current eye level on my hunter is 710, and we were doing Zul'Harrak and heroic Zul'Harrak, and I was thinking, I haven't played survival in ages, so I was just gonna see, because that's a kind of heavy AoE fight, so I'm gonna play survival. I did almost like 61k, yeah, about 61k in survival, being the quote-unquote worst spec in the game. So I was basically thinking, like, you can't have a change like this, right? Like, melee survival hunters, and then you find out that that is the worst spec to play. But also too, you can't have it to where, it's also the best spec to where, Beast Mastery and Marksman are, like 7,000 below that. So what do? And the funny thing was that in the beginning of this expansion, I was actually quite shocked to see how balanced the three specs were. In High Mall and even in Blackrock Foundry. Everyone would say, oh man, Beastmaster is the best spec, for Blackrock Foundry, and the 4 set is ridiculous. Well, I played Survival still, and I was pampoozling other Beastmaster hunters. So, the balance even then was still quite good. I mean, it was within 1,000 DPS of each other, and I think that's the proper balance to have. Like, if one spec is like in single target just 1,000 ahead, it's not really much, or even 500 ahead. I mean, if you look at Simulation Craft on the web tubes, you'll basically see like a lot of the specs are pretty balanced. Like, on the top tier, it's like some of them are only like 200k ahead. So that's where I feel like these specs need to be. Like, I don't want these grand changes like you saw pretty much right now with Marksman. You see Marksman way at the top, Beastmaster in the middle, and Survival at the very bottom. Like, I can guarantee you, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be real with you. It doesn't matter how awesome the survival hunter, the survival melee hunter is if it's the bottom of the barrel. no one's going to play it. I can guarantee you no one is going to play it. Everyone will go to Icy Veins, everyone will go to Azerothian Sight, and he can say, hey, survival melee hunter spec is crap. You shouldn't play it. That's the same thing right now with survival. Survival right now is crap. No one is playing it. Everyone's marksman. I don't even really see that many Beastmaster hunters, and Beastmaster isn't even doing that bad. I just don't like Beastmaster right now because of kill command, but I digress. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to be real. Like, if melee survival hunters are at the bottom of the specs, no one will play them. And I feel like they need to be as balanced as ever when Legion comes out, to where, melee survival, Beastmaster, and Marksman are all within maybe a K of each other. So that way you can literally take your pick of to what you want to play. And even if, like, let's say, Marksman, just throwing out that, right, is at the top, but let's say melee survival hunter is only like 1500k beneath marksman. Well, that's fine, because that was the same case in Blackrock Foundry whenever Beastmaster was the top spec, and then survival was like a little bit below that. I still played survival because I enjoyed it, and it was still very viable. What isn't viable is whenever you have a spec at the very bottom of the totem pole for, heroic or even normal progression. It's just not in the case. It's not in the cards. And I just, I am very excited for Legion. I am going to have a campfire discussion about my impressions of the overall Legion expansion, not just the survival melee hunters, but, artifact weapons, the whole class order halls. There is going to be a video on all of that soon. I'm just waiting because I want to get my people all together, and I haven't got certain people, or I should say a certain someone, to be in my video that I know that if I did the video without him, he'd be extraordinarily pissed off. So I am basically waiting on that, but I wanted to give you guys a video, and that's pretty much what this video is really all about. Is Blizzard, if you're hearing us as a hunter community, don't screw us in this type of anticipation for this melee survival hunter and be like, oh yeah, we gave you melee survival hunters, but it's the worst spec in the game. Like, don't do that, Blizzard, please. Like, just, I don't even need it to be the best spec in the game. Just make it to where wherever it is in the hunter specs, make it to where it's like, 500 or 1,000 ahead or behind each spec, and not like 5,000 or 7,000 or even 10,000 below. Because then I can guarantee you, no matter how fun that spec is, no one will play it for progression. No one will play it in raids. And that is the big thing. Like right now with rogues, people are playing assassination for single target, even though subtlety is quote unquote like the best single target right now. You know why? Because the difference between subtlety and assassination isn't much. It isn't like the way going from, I think it's combat. If you're playing a subtlety rogue compared to a combat rogue in single target, that is a huge difference in DPS. Comparatively, if you were going from subtlety to assassination, I think is still the top 10 specs of the best specs in the game. So that is really my whole point of this video, is no matter how great the survival melee hunter is, if it's at the bottom of the totem pole for DPS, no one will play it. And I'm really looking forward to, actually playing this spec, and I'm even thinking about leveling as a survival melee hunter just to see like how awesome it is, because, I'm a big anime guy. I love anime, and there's one anime that I am thinking of in particular, which is Naruto Shippuden, or just Naruto. And if you're a Naruto fan, there is a guy in there, and his name is escaping me, but he has a pet with him. And it's, oh my god, why am I forgetting his name? Oh my god. It's not a Konohamaru. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. I'm spacing out right now. But he does an ability called Fang over Fang. And I was thinking, man, how awesome would be to have like a kind of torpedo, like the monk, torpedo, but it's basically you and your pet swirling together to like hit a target. Like, oh my god, my mind is blue right now. Just like to have like abilities that interact with your pet like that, to where you you and your pet are mailing together as one is just, amazing. Like, oh my God, like that to me was or is going to be like one of the best things to find out. Once beta drops and we get to actually start to see the talent trees or the talent tree for the melee survival hunter, the abilities, the rotation, to see how fun it is. Is it going to be trap heavy? I mean, are we even going to use traps? Is traps even going to be a thing? I doubt it. If we're really going to be a melee survival class, I think traps will probably be somewhat of a utility. But even right now, traps aren't in your rotation for DPS, and I feel like maybe they invent a brand new trap. I think back in early beta for Warlords, there was a bear trap that Survival had for a bit, like in beta, and then they took that away, and then they put exotic munitions, I believe, which we all know how that talent worked out, fucking horrible. But anyway, so they could do something like that. I feel like I just want I think of Raptor Strike and I think of Mongoose Bite, and those abilities back in Burning Crusade, they didn't really do anything. They were just, they hit you and they didn't do anything. There wasn't like a bleed that was attached, or even that I can remember. Anyway, it's been so long. It's like almost like 9 years ago. But I'm just saying, like it was. There wasn't really anything. I want new abilities. Like I just want brand new made up abilities that have a great fun rotation, that provide great and fun gameplay with you and your pet. Because you're going to be we are going to be the pretty much the only melee class that actually has a pet. We need to interact with that pet. I don't want it to be old school survival to where your pet just attacks auto attacks, and you never really do it. It's just like an accessory. I don't want it to be an accessory. I want me and my pet to do stuff together. I want there to be an association with the pet. I want there to be abilities that you and your pet do together to hit the boss or to hit a target with. I think those things would be so awesome to see, in a game like this, in a fantasy game. So that's, I guess, really my overall impressions, because I really don't have anything to go by. There's not really much information yet for the melee survival hunt. But I want to know, what are your thoughts on this whole melee survival hunt? What kind of talents would you like? What kind of abilities would you like to see? That's really what I'm anxious to see, is what your guys' thoughts are, since I've already given you mine. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe to my channel for anything Hunter related, especially for anything Legion. I'm going to have more videos coming up soon for that. Campfire discussions will be up for that as well. So yeah, just be ready, guys. It's going to be awesome. So, and again, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.